What's up, fellow dirt bikers? We're here today to install our S3 Extreme head on our Sherco 300 two-stroke. Let's dive in. So I skipped the tank removal and the seat removal. I figure that's pretty self-explanatory. 3 bolts and a seat clip to get that all out and disconnect the hose from the carb. Bike is a little bit dirty. I washed it, but some of this stuff just sticks and I didn't take any super good cleaner to it, so sorry about that. Should be fine for this video though. So next, we're gonna be draining our coolant from this water pump here. You're gonna take out this bolt. It's got a copper washer. That's how you know that's your drain bolt for the coolant. To get it to drain a lot better, you wanna take the cap off first. And I have a gallon here with a funnel to catch all the spillage. Okay, so after the coolant is drained, there's this connector here, and it is connected with this metal bracket. So you're going to take some needle nose pliers. There's an opening right here. Simply just give it a nice tug. Give it a nice tug and it should come out. You might have to move your CDI box just a skosh to get it to come out nice and smooth. And don't do what I just did there and have it go on the ground. Try and pull it a little more gently than that. Then after that's pulled, this just slides right off, and we can start by pulling these 3 nuts so we can take the motor mount from the frame and the CDI mount off. These are all 13s on this side, and then you're gonna have number 6 Allen. So I just start by cranking each one loose. I usually don't disconnect the ground. So the ground's hooked up on this side, and then it's on the CDI box. These kind of hook in nice up on the frame, so I leave them up here. That way I don't have to go through and take a 6 mil and an 8 mil and do all that and then put it back together. I just get them out of the way, and that leaves you plenty of room to install this cylinder head anyways. So just get them out of the way and we should be good there. Next step, you got your 6 10 mils to hold the actual head on. These right here, it's super nice to have a ratcheting crescent. If you don't have one, it's fine. You should be able to get it. It's just gonna take you a little longer. But let's start cracking these babies loose. This is where the ratcheting crescent is nice. You can just put your finger over top to get the resistance, and then just have it keep loosening for you. These do, once you break them loose, they come out super easy. So it's just some of them on the Sherco anyways are hard to get to with your fingers, especially if you have bent radiators like I do. Now we want to loosen our hose here for our coolant to enter the cylinder head. Okay, so now that everything's loose, set that over here by accident. This is a 19 wrench. Before I take this off, it's kind of nice to leave it on so that the pins, the dowel pins, will help you for when you want to break this loose. I should have probably just broke this loose when, oh man, with the bolts in. There we go. Okay, that's broke loose, so we should be good to pull the rest of it out. Looks like I still have a little bit of antifreeze in there. It's kind of hard to get it all out. Okay, so when you get your head, it's going to be on this S3 packaging, and this is all going to be shoved together already, and you're going to have 3 O-rings. This O-ring in here is not installed, so you want to separate it, install that O-ring, and then there's a dowel right here, and that pin goes on that dowel. So then you want to remesh it after you get that O-ring on. Like so, and then we should be all set. To get it to hold together, you could transfer over the spark plug while you're putting it in, but it's got a pretty good seal. And then, like I said, it's a good thing we broke this loose. So now I can just take this and not have to put too much pressure and pull this off. And from my knowledge, you don't have to start this anyway, but it would be preferable that by the time when it's tightened, that this groove is up, so then when you go to put that retainer in, it's going to be sitting straight up and down. So we'll thread this in, and it threads in so much nicer to this S3 head. Threads are nice and fresh. All right, so here's the fun part. These O-rings that the Extreme head come with, they're very small, and even trying to stretch them out for probably half an hour, they don't like to stretch, and they kind of just come out of the groove. So it's a good idea. It's actually like one of the only ideas that I've had. Take the outer one out. The inner one seems fine. So take the outer one out, you can see there's some residue, and just put some grease in this outer area here, outer groove, so that it'll grab the O-ring when you put it in, and you'll have enough time to get the head and install it before the O-ring tries to pop out again. And it doesn't have to be lined up the whole way through, but you want it to kind of grab everywhere. Otherwise it'll just pop out if you just miss a whole section. Okay, now we can lay that in the groove, and the grease should grab it, and then we can go ahead and install the head. Perfect. Actually, you can pull this out, your water, your coolant hose, put that on, then it helps you get everything kind of lined up. Should feel it click into place. I think I felt it there. You really want to get down to make sure that you're not pulling that back up, your O-ring. Felt like that was the groove. Good test is to see if your screws will go in. So I just got done tightening these. Some people use a torque wrench. I don't personally. I know a lot of guys that are watching this probably won't, so I mean, it's kind of a feel thing too. If you're not used to rebuilding anything, or you've never done any sort of mechanics on a dirt bike, then maybe you want to get one. But you can kind of feel a good tug, I mean, or a good snug fit. Okay guys, so now that's everything that we did, just reverse, and I won't bore you with that footage, but I will give you a test run after this, and I'm pretty stoked. Should rip. So far, super impressed. The bottom end, I didn't think the bottom end could get any better, but it has. Much more grunt, and then for the rest of the power band, it's just quicker, snappier, much more, I don't know, it almost gives the bike like a trials-like feel. because the bottom end's so strong, and then it just kind of carries through to the top. But it's not like it adds a ton on the top. It's like it revs out quicker. So sick. I think it makes it sound better. Beautiful.